During the National Day holiday, my company arranged a room for me to stay overnight. In the middle of the night, I suddenly found a note on my bed. Don't open the door if you hear any sounds. Be careful of the dead pretending to be alive. I had just started working at a company with a salary of $10,000 a month. On my first day, I had to work until 9 p.m. Just as I and 5 other new employees were about to leave, the boss called us over. All 6 of you must stay at the company tonight. I've already prepared rooms for you. They are all single rooms. But please remember this, do not open your door casually at night. Otherwise, you'll bear the consequences yourselves. As soon as she heard that, Emma immediately refused. No way. I have things to do at home. You can't restrict an employee's freedom. If you're capable, then walk out on your own. Hearing that, Emma tried to open the door and leave. But no matter how hard she pulled on the handle, the door wouldn't budge. Instead, scratches suddenly appeared across her hand, drawing blood. You've already signed an employment contract. Tonight, you must stay here. You may only leave after 6 a.m. tomorrow. Anyone who violates the contract will pay with their life. After hearing that, all of our faces turned pale. Emma had no choice but to give in. Soon afterward, all of us received a text message. Emily Carter, your room is 1307. Sleep well. I immediately went to room 1307 and locked the door behind me. The room had a bed and even a private bathroom. I washed my face and got ready to sleep. But just then, I heard a scratching sound. As if something was scraping at the door. My drowsiness vanished instantly. I looked through the peephole. But there was nobody there. I immediately shouted. Who's messing around out there? The very next second, the sound stopped. I stood frozen by the door. When I realized there were no more noises, I finally let out a sigh of relief. Just as I pulled back the blanket and was about to return to bed, I discovered that a sheet of paper had suddenly appeared on the bed. Terrified, I quickly picked it up and read it. Written on it were the words. Do not open the door if you hear any noises. Be careful of the dead who disguise themselves as the living. I flipped the paper over and found more writing on the back. First, before dawn, do not open the door for anyone if you hear scratching at the door. Don't worry, it's only a prank by some children. Second, be careful of yourself in the mirror. Third, there is no moon tonight. If you see the moon, eat the red candy on the nightstand. Fourth, among the 6 people, there is a murderer. Pay attention to protecting yourself. Fifth, someone has already died. But that person doesn't know it yet. I stared at the paper without understanding any of it. So I called my coworker, Nora. Nora, are you asleep yet? Not yet. I'm a little scared being alone. I was about to show her the paper, but after thinking it over, I decided to ask first. Nora, did you find any note in your room? What note? I didn't see anything. Nora's answer surprised me. So I decided not to mention the paper. Oh, right. Let me add you to the group chat for the 6 of us. Quinn just created it. After hanging up, she added me to the group. The other new employees were already there as well. At that moment, Quinn started complaining. What kind of company is this? It's so weird. If it weren't for the high salary, I never would have come here. But in the very next second, Lucas White interrupted her. Stop talking. One of the 6 of us is a murderer. What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Quinn shot back. Don't make accusations without evidence. Of course I have evidence. There's a note on the bathroom mirror in my room. It says exactly that. If you don't believe me, I'll take a picture and send it to the group. When I saw the photo, my heart nearly stopped. Lucas White had also received a note. But his note contained only a single sentence. If this is true, then the murderer must be one of the three men. Nora, Emily, and I are all weak women. Ethan Lee immediately argued back. What, are women born with one less arm or something? Anyone could be the murderer. Victor King quickly stepped in to calm everyone down. Let's stop arguing. We're co-workers. There's no need to make things difficult for each other. Nora sent me a private message. Emily, do you think what's written on that note is true? It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. As long as we don't open the door, we should be fine. But the moment I finished typing, there was a knock at my door. I cautiously walked toward it. Then I heard Nora's voice from outside. Emily, I'm really scared. Can I stay with you? I looked through the peephole and saw only Claire with her head lowered, her face full of fear. Go back to your room. I want to be alone. Please. Open the door, hurry. How am I supposed to deal with a criminal all by myself? I'm just a weak girl. Hearing the grievance in Claire's voice, I couldn't help but feel sympathetic. Just as I was about to open the door, my phone suddenly displayed a new message. It was another message from Claire. Annie, since you can't sleep anyway, why don't you chat with me? I stared at the message in horror, then looked through the peephole again. If Claire was texting me, then who was standing outside my door? Claire, go back to your room. It seems like my door lock is broken. I can't lock it. Upon hearing that, the person outside laughed. Is that so? Then I won't bother you anymore. I held my breath and didn't dare move. Gradually, everything outside became quiet. A moment later, I slowly leaned toward the peephole and looked outside again. But all I could see was a dark red color blocking my view. It seemed that something had covered the peephole. Terrified, I ran into the bathroom and washed my face, trying to calm myself down. After that, I was about to return to bed. But the moment I turned around, I felt as though someone was watching me through the mirror. I spun around in shock, but saw nothing unusual. Then, at that exact moment, a human handprint suddenly appeared on the mirror. I screamed in fear and hurried back into the bedroom. Just then, my phone rang again. Annie, are you okay? Why did I hear you scream? I'm fine. A mouse just ran past me. Oh, right. You've stayed in your room the whole night, haven't you? Yeah. There's no way I'd dare go outside. Hearing that made me even more terrified. So the person standing outside my door earlier had been a fake. I walked over to the window to get some fresh air. By chance, I looked up at the sky and saw a full moon. Winter was almost here. How could there be a full moon? As I stood there in confusion, I suddenly remembered the words on the note. There is no moon tonight. If you see the moon, eat the red candy on the nightstand. I immediately panicked and hurriedly grabbed the red candy and swallowed it. The candy tasted salty and carried a metallic smell. Afterward, I picked up my phone and opened the group chat. Quinn sent a message. Did you just go outside? No. Why would you ask that all of a sudden? I just heard knocking at my door. I looked through the peephole and saw someone who looked exactly like you. What do you mean? I've been in my room the entire time. Are you saying I was trying to harm you? I'm telling the truth. What would I gain by lying to you? He's not lying. A little while ago, I saw Claire too. I saw Annie. And I saw Ethan. At that point, I felt that something was very wrong. Nathan had seen Quinn. Ethan had seen me. Logan had seen Ethan. And I had seen Claire. But Quinn hadn't had anyone knock on her door. As for Claire, she was even stranger. Earlier, she had called me, but she never mentioned seeing Logan. Instead, she brought it up later in the group chat. Someone was clearly lying. Was it Claire? I wasn't sure. But I had already started to suspect her. Just then, Quinn suddenly exploded in the group chat. Who's the murderer? Why don't you just admit it? If you want money, we can give you some. Don't be so naive. Have you ever seen a human trafficker willingly walk into a trap? Quinn said. You're the only one who didn't get a knock on your door. That makes you the most suspicious person here. Don't say that. I wouldn't even dare kill a chicken. Let alone a person. At that moment, Nathan sent me a private message. Annie. I think someone in the group is lying. He had come to the same conclusion as I had. But at this point, I couldn't trust anyone. So I pretended not to understand and asked him. How do you know? I figured it out. No one knocked on Quinn's door. That's the flaw in the story. It proves that someone is lying. If nothing unexpected happened, then one of the 6 of us is already dead. I was startled. Why would you say that? Someone opened their door and got killed. That means this was planned. Exactly. But it seems not every room has it. Otherwise, everyone would have mentioned it in the group chat already. So what do we do now? We can only wait until 6 a.m. If there's really a killer among us, do you think they'll let anyone survive? Instead of sitting around waiting to die, we should find a way to catch the killer and restrain them. That's our best chance of survival. But right now we can't even leave our rooms. How are we supposed to restrain anyone? Rules are rigid, but people aren't. If you trust me, come to my room. If you're afraid to go outside, I can come to yours. And if you don't trust me, then just sit there and wait. The killer is bound to make a move sooner or later. When he told me to leave my room, my first reaction was resistance. No matter what, I didn't dare open the door. At that moment, Claire Quinn suddenly spoke in the group chat. I've got an idea. How about all of us gather in one room? We can keep an eye on each other. That way, the killer won't be able to make a move. And what about anyone who doesn't come? That person would be the most suspicious. Don't start causing trouble. The boss told us not to open our doors casually. If you don't want to live, that's your choice. But the rest of us do. One of the men immediately replied. If you don't want to come, then don't. Exactly. Then Nora Reed spoke up. How about just the 2 of us stay together? I'll come find you. Claire, I think that's a bad idea. Nora, you're overthinking this. I'm coming right now. Open the door. The very next second, I heard the sound of Nora opening her door. Then came a rapid series of knocks. I pressed my eye against the peephole to watch. But unfortunately, I couldn't see the corner outside the room. Not long afterward, I heard a door open. It seemed that Nora had let the other person inside. That's right, but it doesn't seem like every room has one. Otherwise, everyone would have mentioned it in the group chat. So what do we do now? Are we really supposed to just wait until 6 a.m.? If there's a killer among us, do you think they'll let anyone survive? Instead of sitting here waiting to die, shouldn't we find a way to catch the murderer and restrain them? That's our best chance of survival. But right now we can't even leave our rooms. How are we supposed to restrain anyone? Rules are rigid, but people aren't. If you trust me, come to my room. If you're afraid to go outside, I can come to yours. And if you don't trust me, then just sit there and wait. The killer is bound to make a move sooner or later. When he suggested that I leave my room, I instinctively resisted. No matter what, I didn't dare open the door. At that moment, Quinn suddenly spoke in the group chat again. I've got an idea. How about all of us gather in one room and keep an eye on each other? That way, the killer won't be able to make a move. And what about anyone who doesn't come? That person would be the most suspicious. Stop trying to stir things up. The boss told us not to open our doors casually. You may not want to live, but the rest of us do. If a bunch of men don't want to come, then forget about them. That's right, Nora. Why don't just the two of us stay together? I'll come to your room. Quinn, I think we should forget about it. Nora, you're overthinking this. I'm coming right now. Open the door. The very next second, I heard Nora open her door. Then came a rapid series of knocks. I pressed my eye against the peephole to watch. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the corner outside. Not long afterward, I heard a door open. It seemed that Nora had let the person in. Nathan, do you think Quinn could be the killer in disguise? I don't know either. Let's wait and see. Just then, I suddenly heard a blood-curdling scream. The scream came from Nora's room. I immediately called her. Nora, what's going on over there? Quinn accidentally slipped in the bathroom. It's fine now. As soon as she finished speaking, she hung up. But something felt wrong. Just then, I noticed a small note on my pillow. There was only a single sentence written on it. The consequence of standing still may be the annihilation of everyone. What did that mean? Was it telling me to take action? At that moment, Nathan sent me a photo. He had received a note as well. The message on it was exactly the same as mine. So, want to work together? But why should I trust you? If you're afraid to go outside, I can come to your room. Would that be enough? All right. Then come over. Not long afterward, knocking sounded at my door. I looked through the peephole and saw Nathan, so I opened the door and let him in. Talk. What clues do you have? Have you asked Logan and Ethan yet? Both of them had bloody handprints. But Logan said there was also a note on his mirror. I already know that. He even posted a picture of it in the group chat earlier. Then that means he's not a suspect, right? Wouldn't that just make things harder for himself? He did it to clear himself of suspicion. Logan used to work at an artificial intelligence company. He knows how to use smart projectors to alter faces. That actually makes sense. There's something else that's very suspicious. Earlier, I heard noises coming from Nora's room. She said Quinn had slipped and fallen. Nathan's expression changed immediately. The note only says there's one murderer. But that doesn't mean there can't be an accomplice. Quinn probably doesn't have any chance of surviving anymore. Their next target is most likely me. The moment Nathan finished speaking, I heard knocking coming from the room next door. They're knocking on my door. It looks like I'm the target. You'll be next after me. Then let's call the police right now. It's useless. The signal here is blocked. This place is definitely being jammed with advanced signal interference. The six of us can contact each other, but we can't make calls to the outside. As soon as Nathan finished speaking, the knocking started again. I looked through the peephole. Quinn was standing outside. Annie, it's me. Quinn. I turned to Nathan. Look. Why is Quinn still alive? That doesn't necessarily mean it's really Quinn. Open the door and let her in first. Then we'll restrain her together. Hearing that, I opened the door. Sure enough, Quinn was alone. The moment she stepped inside, Nathan lunged forward and tackled her to the ground. At the same time, a knife fell out from her clothing. What are you people doing? Let me go. Whoever was outside heard the commotion and immediately started pounding on the door. Just wait until I break this door down. We'll see how long you stay alive. That voice belonged to Logan. It seemed that Nathan had been right. But I still couldn't understand why Quinn had been the accomplice. Quinn had already been knocked unconscious by me. Now Logan was completely isolated. We had to take the initiative and strike first. Nathan grabbed a mop handle from the bathroom. Open the door. As soon as Logan rushes in, I'll deal with him. Hearing that, I immediately opened the door. But after waiting for about 10 minutes, there was still no movement outside. Let's go out and take a look. Logan was already dead. He lay on the floor with terror clearly written across his face, as if he had just seen something horrifying. There was also a bloody handprint on his face. I looked at my phone. It was exactly 6 a.m. Nathan, it's time. Let's get out of this company. Upon hearing that, Nathan helped Quinn to her feet and led her into the elevator. After leaving the company, we immediately went to the police station and told them everything that had happened. You said the company was on the 13th floor of the Harbor Tower building? But Harbor Tower only has 12 floors. Hearing that, a chill ran down all our spines. At that moment, Quinn finally spoke up. Logan and I had both heard that Harbor Tower had been haunted for a very long time. So we wanted to create a supernatural mystery case. After that, we planned to live stream ourselves investigating it. That way, we'd attract viewers and make a lot of money. But in the end, it backfired on us. Annie, Nathan, you two can leave now. Wait. They got my husband killed. They should be punished by the law too. Your husband wasn't killed by them. According to the investigation results, Logan had been scared to death. After leaving the police station, I turned around to thank Nathan. But Nathan said, "There's no need to thank me. I'm only repaying a debt of gratitude." What debt? Have we met before? He didn't answer. He simply turned around and walked away. Filled with confusion, I took out my phone and searched for Nathan's name. It said that Nathan had been born in 2005 and had died in a car accident. The date of death was exactly this day last year. My heart nearly stopped. But in the very next second, I received a message from Nathan. When I was 5 years old, you gave me food and clothes and helped me survive a freezing winter. You probably don't remember. But I've finally repaid that kindness. Goodbye, my benefactor. As I read the message, I suddenly remembered. When I was 8 years old, I once saw a pitiful little boy on the street. I secretly took clothes and food from home and brought them to him. It turned out that little boy had been Nathan. Sure enough, good deeds are rewarded with good things.